Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we dive into a story that's sending shockwaves through the hip-hop world. Gene Deal, a man who once stood beside Sean Diddy Combs as his trusted bodyguard, has dropped shocking claims that Diddy sent street hitmen to silence him. Yes, you heard that right. The man who built Bad Boy Records into a billion-dollar empire is now being accused of using the underworld's deadliest tactics to protect his image. But this isn't just about one man. This is about the rise and fall of the Bad Boy Empire. The mysteries behind Tupac and Biggie's murders, the blurred line between hip-hop and street life, and what happens when silence becomes more valuable than truth. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll see why Gene Deal's claims could mark the final unraveling of Diddy's legacy. Before we dive deeper, let's understand who Gene Deal is. Gene wasn't just a bodyguard.
You made a comment about how Diddy, he might not get out. What makes you believe that?
I made that statement because I really thought the prosecution at first was trying to get him in jail.
He was in the inner circle. He saw what few people ever saw. The late-night meetings, the shady deals, the heated arguments, the paranoia. He was there during the Bad Boy era when Diddy ruled the airwaves and when artists like Biggie Smalls, Mace, Faith Evans, and 112 were the face of hip-hop. He wasn't a random outsider throwing stones. He was in the room, guarding the man who called himself Puff Daddy. That's why his words carry so much weight. Because when an insider breaks silence, the world listens. Gene Deal claims that the moment he started speaking publicly about what he witnessed, especially surrounding the murders of Tupac and Biggie, his life changed. According to him, threats began rolling in. He was warned to keep his mouth shut, but when he didn't back down, he says things escalated, and that Diddy himself allegedly resorted to sending street hitmen to take him out. Think about that for a moment. A music mogul, a man rubbing shoulders with presidents, Hollywood stars, and billionaires, allegedly sending killers from the streets to eliminate his own former bodyguard. Gene says he had to constantly watch his back, never knowing if the next car following him was just a stranger or someone sent to finish the job. The obvious question, why would Diddy want Gene silenced? Well, Gene Deal has been one of the most vocal insiders when it comes to exposing what really happened during the most dangerous years in hip-hop. He has openly questioned the official narratives surrounding Biggie's death in Los Angeles and Tupac's murder in Las Vegas. He's suggested that certain people in power wanted the truth buried and that Diddy knew far more than he ever admitted. And let's not forget, for years, whispers have surrounded Diddy. Lawsuits, accusations of manipulation, financial exploitation of artists, and dark rumors of connections to street figures. If Gene Deal connected the dots publicly, it could shatter the image Diddy built for decades. That's why, according to Gene, silence wasn't just about protecting pride, it was about protecting an empire built on secrets. To understand the weight of this, we need to talk about the Bad Boy Empire itself. In the 90s and early 2000s, Bad Boy was unstoppable. From Biggie's legendary albums to shiny suit era hits, from club anthems to R&B crossovers, Diddy had his hands on everything. But over time, the empire began to show cracks. Artists like Mace walked away, later accusing Diddy of unfair contracts. The Lox famously fought to be released from Bad Boy, claiming Diddy robbed them of earnings. Countless others, from Day 26 to Danity Kane, said they felt used, controlled, and discarded. And now with lawsuits, federal investigations, and mounting public scrutiny, it's not just about music anymore. The empire that once looked untouchable is collapsing under its own weight. Gene Deal's allegations add fuel to that fire, painting a picture of a mogul so desperate to keep control that he would risk it all by turning to the streets. Here's where things get even deeper. Hip-hop has always walked a fine line between art and reality. Many moguls and rappers came from the streets, and some never left those ties behind. Deals were made, favors were exchanged, and sometimes those connections came with a price. Gene Deal's claim that Diddy sent street hitmen isn't just about one man. It's about the intersection of fame, money, and street power. For decades, people whispered about hip-hop's darkest secrets: who was connected to who paid off who, and how far the rich and powerful would go to protect themselves. If Gene is right, then this isn't paranoia. This is reality. In multiple interviews, Gene Deal has said the same thing. He will not be silenced. He claims he's speaking out not just for himself, but for the truth about what really happened to Biggie, Tupac, and others caught in the crossfire of hip-hop's golden era. Deal says he knows the risk he's taking. He's admitted that every time he goes public, he feels the weight of eyes watching him. Yet he continues, insisting that telling the truth is worth more than his own safety. This is where the story stops being just entertainment and becomes a matter of life, death, and justice. So here we are. Gene Deal says Diddy sent street hitmen to end him, all to protect a crumbling empire built on secrets and power. If what Gene says is true, then this is more than just music industry drama. This is the story of how far some will go to protect their empire, and how dangerous it can be when someone decides to break the silence. The bad boy empire may have once stood as a symbol of success, but now it may be remembered as a symbol of how quickly power can collapse when the truth finally comes out. What do you think? Is Gene Deal exposing the truth?
Archive, it may have been leverage, a grotesque currency. If you were ever in one of those rooms, if a camera ever caught your face, then the mogul had power over you for life. The raids themselves painted a surreal picture. Agents cataloged more than 1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil, stacked like supplies for a bizarre ritual. The sheer volume raises questions. Were these props for indulgence or stockpiles for events that blur the line between entertainment and control?
Or is this just another piece of hip-hop's endless web of conspiracies? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives, because trust me, this story is far from over.